Guess what? Self-medicating your pain might make it go away for a little while, but it never makes it go away for good. Our pain will always find a way out. It wants to be seen. Our pain wants to be heard. No matter how strong and powerful you think you are, your pain is always going to be stronger. And your pain will even deceive you to thinking that it needs something that will actually cause you even more pain. Isn't that painful? Just even hearing that, even thinking about that your pain will deceive you to get you to do things that will cause you more pain. Ouch. That's painful. That is so painful. Oh man, let me share a story with you on this wonderful day of life. You could probably see there's lots of rain puddles here in northern New Mexico. We've been getting socked with rain finally. The seasons have changed. I'm all covered up. And I want to go out for a walk, starting my day, getting some fresh air. I've already spent a lot of time with positive affirmations, some journaling, some meditation, really connecting with God, getting some clarity, just being centered. I think it's just so important that I'm centered on myself so that I can deliver and speak truth into the hearts and minds of all of you listening to this message, that I continue to hold myself accountable. But I was really thinking about the pain. I remember one of the first books that really started to expand my understanding of trauma and emotional wounds was The Power of Now, Eckhart Tolle. And in there he talks a lot about the emotional pain body. And today I want to talk to you about the tale of two fathers. Two men. The first man is the broken man. The second man is the healed man. Kind of reminds me of Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. We have broken dad and healed dad. And of course, this story relates directly back to me, as I am the example of this life. This has been my story, my journey, my experience. And as I sit here, right now, as I stand here, actually, I'm standing. I'm a healed version of myself. And that's a powerful thing to say, is to truly feel healed. What is it? What does that even mean, right? You're probably asking yourself that. What does it mean to be healed? Well, I've healed myself, right? Heal is sort of like healthy. I've healed my mental state of being. I've healed my emotional state of being. I've healed my spiritual state of being, and I've healed my physical state of being, and I'm healed my financial state of being. There's a continuation process every single day, but I have gotten to such a plateau where I can sit here and say, I'm healed. I'm totally different. I'm so different that I ran into my sister that I don't see that often. And I guess I hadn't seen her in a while. And we ran into each other at the grocery store recently, and she didn't recognize me. She literally did not recognize me. She had to like take a double take. Wait, is that you? And it's not that I mean, I have changed. I mean, again, the broken man that I'll talk about versus the healed man. The broken man was overweight, obese, trying to, eating all my feelings, eating all my emotions, looking for anything that would give me pleasure, even if it was just momentary, which was really just an escape from the uncomfortable emotions that I was feeling inside. The anger, the frustration, it wasn't even anger. I've also learned that. The healed man now knows that it's not anger. It's being afraid. And so, yeah, when you really do heal and you do shift and you really do align yourself with your true and authentic self, like you become unrecognizable to a lot of people that have a certain definition or an image that you, whoever you are on the other side of the screen, I love you so much, smile. Whoever you are, if you transcend their definition of you, they're not going to fully recognize you anymore. You're gonna baffle their perception because it is important for their state of normalcy that the people and the places and the things that they understand stay as is. Change is a constant, but it's something we all fear so much. We fear change. And yet, the broken version of me was fat. I was a fat guy. And I didn't like being a fat guy because I've always been like a muscular man, an athletic man, a physically fit man, powerful, strong. But I can tell you that the broken version of me, the broken man, still felt that he was strong, that he was powerful, that he was handsome and attractive. And what I now know as the healed man, that the broken man was delusional. The eyes that he was seen with were still the eyes of his former self, which was that youthful self, that young, vibrant, highly energized self, that even though the broken man had let his physical fitness go, his health and wellness go, his mental health, his emotional health, his spiritual health, and his physical health go, he let it all go. It was not a priority. Why? Because the things of life that the broken man had experienced caused him to feel depressed. And I hear a lot of people, a lot of talking heads on the internet, there's no such thing as depression and this and that. I've been fucking depressed. I don't know. I do know. I'm gonna advocate that, yes, depression is a thing. And what depression is just that you're stuck in the past. Your frame of mind, your focus is in the past. And so it's really easy to get stuck in the past, especially if the past seemed more desirable, more, from a life standpoint, more pleasurable, more enriched, a better quality of the experience versus, anxiety is a fear of the future, is the fear of what's to come, right? So anxiety is about the future and depression's about the past. And clearly I had a lot of things, and I think a lot of us, we make decisions that fuck us up. We fail, we make mistakes. Things happen in our life. And there's a grieving process that a lot of us don't understand or don't even want to accept that we need to go through, right? When we've made a mistake, when something has happened, we don't want to accept it. We kind of get into our pride, we get into our pain body, and we start to shut ourselves down emotionally. And every time you do that, you're holding back the fluidity that your emotions need to be healthy. Healthy emotional expression is putting words into how you feel versus activity and reactions. And it's still something I'm trying to master, but I can tell you the difference if you want the contrast between the wounded, broken man versus the healed man. The healed man can now sit there, truly understand there's been a shift. What is the shift? Well, I'm nervous, I'm anxious, I'm overwhelmed, I'm frustrated, I'm tired. And because I'm feeling that, my mood has shifted. I'm a little more irritable. I'm a little more short and not as patient in certain circumstances. And so I can try and soothe that. I can try and fall back to some of the tools that I have in my toolbox to be able to get myself back in line with my center. And one of the things that works incredible for the healed man is literally taking off my shoes and socks, putting my feet in the dirt or in the grass or in the sand or whatever kind of natural terrain you have around you, and just doing some breath work. Breath work. I'll tell you another thing that sounds so funny. If you don't like to take off your shoes and socks, but if you're in nature, you go out in the forest, or there's somewhere where there's, a pretty big tree, go hug a tree. Just 2 days ago, there's a walk that I go into. There's a great tree right there. That's a tree that could love you more than just about anything else on this planet. But nah, some of y'all are gonna think that's crazy talk. Well, let it be crazy talk. Conor McGregor has a video. He was hugging trees in the park the other day. And I just challenge you to just try it. Just try it. Literally, you're gonna feel stupid. Even me, I've gone past it. The other day, there was 2 guys, county workers at this park, kind of like tough dudes, right? And there is a part of me that's still like a little, I have thoughts of embarrassment, like, oh man, this would be so stupid. But again, the healed version says, I validate myself. I assure myself. I'm not worried about what you think or they think or what they say. I don't care. If I know that going to hug that big, huge tree right there is going to reduce my stress, ground me, center me in a way that drugs, alcohol, right, pornography, gaming, watching other people do things, all these other activities that the broken man used to seek for relief, that if just hugging that tree right there for 60 seconds to 2 minutes is going to truly, literally re-energize and cleanse my whole entire energetic field, I'm gonna try it. And I challenge you to go try it if you're just stressed out. There are tools to help you to relieve your stress that doesn't hurt you. And that's the measure. The broken man didn't give a shit if something was harmful to him, whether it was food, alcohol, drugs, even toxic relationships, just countless wasted hours, just zoned out, zombied out, watching TV, cheering on, screaming at the TV, negative thinking. He didn't care. The broken man didn't care if all that stuff was actually harmful, as long as it gave some sort of relief. And the thing that really kind of led me towards the healed version is I realized that stuff, one, I had to hit an absolute painful rock bottom. Are you going to have to still hit a significant rock bottom in order for you to turn your life around? Start making some changes? Are you? Is it really going to take that? If it is, then I wish you the best, and I'm here for you. That's the other thing. Is the beautiful thing about being the healed man is that I can now be here for people in a way that I never had someone be there for me in my life. Like when I hit my rock bottom, there wasn't a man for sure. And there wasn't this guy that's speaking to you right now that can hold the space, that can empathize, that can be compassionate, but also to challenge, right? To be strong, to be direct, to be assertive, to really cultivate a space that is healthy for growth. That's what I seek, is to create a channel, to create a community and an environment that really helps people to grow. A little bit each and every day. That's all it takes. A little bit each and every day over an extended period of time is how you go from a broken person into a healed person. And yet, the broken man did not care. But what I realized is that those things that I was trying to get from the external to try and fill the void on the inside of me, it didn't work. Going to the gym, getting strong, but still eating unhealthy, it didn't work. I just, I put on a thicker shell, and I was just like, I was trying to be intimidating. I think I was literally just trying to be intimidating to people, that people would just see me. They'd probably see the darkness on me and the anger and the frustration and the self, lacking, being insecure, right? It's really about insecurity. And I see it in a lot of people. The other day I posted a video and, somebody posted, shut your mouth, shut your bitch ass mouth. And then before I could even respond, it's like, poof, they deleted it. But it triggered somebody. It triggered another man out there shining the light about being in shape and not about, and it's like, there's a lot of shame. Men are carrying around so much shame right now of feeling like failures, but not knowing how to express it, and yet just staying stuck and not wanting to heal. And that's where the broken man was. I didn't care if I wasted a whole weekend just watching sports and being miserable and lazy and drinking some brews and drinking a lot of brews and getting high from fucking morning to night, passing out and doing it again. And then waking up Monday and going out to a shitty job, feeling like shit. The broken man is literally just a zombie. It's a shell of a human. You're not even doing life. You're just existing to exist. That's probably why 2,000 men every single day are killing themselves. Primarily it's because they don't have the words to say, I need help. And if they did, there's another layer there that they don't feel worthy of it. Are you someone that doesn't know how to ask for help or doesn't even feel worthy of help? You're too proud. You have too much of an ego to say, you know what? I'm sick of this. I need to get help. And a lot of men just go and kill themselves instead of saying, you know what? Like, I can get through these dark nights of the soul, and they're painful, man. I've been through some dark nights, man. Some really, really dark nights. I wanted to kill myself. I think, part of me, but there was something always inside of me. I said, you gotta keep going, man. Don't give up. My therapist would always tell me, if I killed myself, I'd be killing the wrong guy. And so I'm grateful that I'm still here, the healed man, because I can talk about these things, and I'm still developing the language and the words to communicate. I do realize that an admission throughout this healing journey, knowing that it's just every single day wanting to get 1% better than who I was yesterday, is I can still be aggressive with trying to get my point across to people, especially if it's like in an intimate relationship. I get passionate. It's passion, but it's aggression, and it's like I need, that's another challenge for me to do, is to, like, work on my communication. continue to develop the communication. And that's what I'm talking about right here, right now. First, I had to shift my attitude saying, man, like, this is, I must be going insane if I think that just living this miserable life is all I got. Like, there's got to be more to it. And I know that I'm worthy of being happy and healthy and strong. And it seemed so crazy. The broken man, like, fat, nasty, identified as look at the fat dad bod guy. Who's just another one of those fat dads, like, you know. But in my mind, it was so delusional. You know, you go places and you see pretty women or attractive people, and you think that you're in that category, and you're not. You're not in the category. You've lost it. If you let it go, you lost it. And so then there is all that shame. That's where the shame comes from, because you know it, but then your eyes deceive you and your mind deceives you, and you don't really understand, because you're kind of a walking contradiction. Like, inside you're so defeated, but outside you got to kind of act the part and show up and, you know, kind of go through the motions. But it's like inside it's such a contradiction. And the external is very deceptive, because the truth is, I know a lot of people still to this day that are physically just so built and powerful and that, but they're broken on the inside. They're not doing the mental and the emotional and the spiritual healing. That's where we start, on the inside. It's not an outside job, it's an inside job to get from the broken to the healed, to cross that bridge. And so I think it's so important for us to realize that we're good enough to do it, but it takes a will, it takes some real grit, and it takes some humility to ask for help. And I'm grateful. There's been a lot of people reaching out as I continue to put the message out there in a new way. This is a new way. If you were to watch videos of mine from a few years ago, you'd shut it off in 5 seconds, and maybe you're still doing that. It's not for everybody. But I am confident that the frequency I'm on right now is going to continue to expand and enhance, and it's going to reach the ears, the minds, the hearts, and the souls that it's intended to reach. And I'm good with that. I want people to respond. I want people that are like, thank you, appreciate it, you know, needed this. And I know I'm gonna still get the other side of that, and that's okay too. I want to continue to grow. I'm not gonna react to that. I send every one of you love, unconditional love, man. I send you love right now. So much love. But before I could send you love, I spent my morning, the healed man, loving myself, doing some self-care, having a morning routine, getting out. And I didn't wake up with total positivity. I had actually a rough night sleeping. But if I stick to my program, my morning routine, positive affirmations, journaling, writing down some more affirmations, more gratitude, right? Visualizing the outcomes and the experiences I want to have, right? Journaling's almost like a written prayer to God. And then also just sitting there in the stillness and the quietness and meditating, right? To hear the messages, to hear my guides communicate to me to keep going. Don't give up. Don't be so stressed about instant results, instant gratifications. And that's the other piece of getting from the broken to the healed. You can't do it instant. It's not going to be quick. It's an endurance race. It ain't even a sprint. It ain't even a marathon. This is an absolute endurance race. You're going to have to roll up your sleeves. You're going to have to be ready to get knocked the fuck down and get back up. And then keep going. And so it was truly aligning. It's aligning those 4 pieces: mental health, emotional health, spiritual health, physical health, and financial health. I think that's another pillar there. And so I'm going to give you a quick rundown as best as possible of my daily 5, right? If you look at the healed man now understands what living life exhausted is and living life of overflow is. The exhausted is definitely a broken person. It was a broken man, constantly burning it from both ends. The healed man operates out of overflow. And that is what you are receiving right now, is the overflow of the energy and what I am cultivating within myself to share freely. And yet I created 5 daily pillars that help me, if you visualize your life as a cup, to keep my cup full to overflowing. And even if you don't hit all 5, as long as you're doing 3 out of the 5 each and every single day with intentions, you're not going to hit that exhaustion. And even when you do, it's okay to give yourself a rest. But some of y'all have been on rest mode for years, decades. You've been resting. You've been idle. It's not even rest no more. It's just idle. There's a time when we need rest. And there's a time when we need to move. And I think every single day, 24 hours, has a good opportunity for each of those things to present themselves. My 5 daily principles: mindfulness, healthy nutrition, physical activity, personal development, and making a difference in this world. Again, one more time. Mindfulness, I start every day with that. Then it's about the nutrition. What am I putting in my body? Garbage in, garbage out, healthy food in, superhuman out. Then it's physical activity, right? Then personal development, self-improvement. And finally, it's making a difference. Making a difference. Because it's not just about you. It's not just about me. It's who do you show up in this world as? How do you give of yourself? And what part of yourself is giving? Is it a manipulation? Is it an act? Or is it true unconditional love? And this is every single day. So how do I break that down even a little farther? Right? The mindfulness consists of the positive affirmations, breath work, journaling, right? Meditation, prayer, grounding if necessary, listening to an early morning meditation. I've already talked about that. That's the mindfulness in the morning. That is so important. The nutrition, well, that goes without saying. I fought against a veteran administration VA nutritionist for years because I thought I could outperform the fork. I could still eat all the unhealthy food, and I can't. Every single year, I even have to ratchet and tighten up my intake and what I'm eating. It's continual. It's continual because I want to stay optimal. I want to stay optimal. When I see people in their 70s and 80s still looking fabulous, sexy, lean, I want that. And I know that it's going to take a lot of discipline and a lot of work, but it really just starts with the shopping. What am I purchasing? Have I learned how to cook new things? I'm a meal prepper, so I'll eat the same thing every single day for the rest of my life if that's what it takes for me to stay lean, healthy, energized. I mean, I'm more powerful than I've ever been, shifting my whole entire nutritional regimen in my 40s. I shifted it all. And it transformed me into this optimal version where it's like I'm all natural. I have incredibly high testosterone, right? And I feel incredible. So that's number 2 is the nutrition. Then comes the fitness. So again, a lot of people say, well, I'm just going to go work out and I'm going to still eat the pizzas and the tacos and all the other shit. And it's like, no, that's not going to get it done. It's not going to get it done. I tried that. That was the broken man. The broken man is like, I'm not changing I'm not changing what I crave from food, knowing that, guess what? Food cravings is actually a sign of unhealed trauma. And yet, once I did change my nutrition, my whole entire body locked in, and it's incredible. And I guarantee you it'd be the same for you. But you gotta be, you have to want this, right? Mindfulness, nutrition, exercise, self-improvement, self-development, discovering yourself. That's such an important piece. We think we know who we are, but we don't. You don't know who you are. You know who you've been. And if you look at that person objectively, there is definitely improvements you can make. I just talked about it earlier in the video. There's all these improvements with my communication that I'm still trying to improve on, how to not be aggressive, trying to get a point across in like a, interpersonal conflict, a disagreement with people I love and care about. How can I use my words more wisely and enhance my vocabulary in order to just stay grounded, stay centered, get my point across, and even allow someone else to be right? That's another piece for me. That's more self-development, self-improvement. And if you're looking for a place to start when it comes to that fourth pillar, if you haven't already done it, type in those 3 magic words, results kill excuses, into your app store, and there's 25 free, no cost, does not cost you anything to download the app, and it doesn't cost you anything other than your time, which is very valuable. That's why I'm not trying to waste it, in offering you 25 courses that are uniquely designed to help you to start looking in the mirror, internally looking in the mirror, not just physically, looking into the interior mirror of your soul to start doing some self-discovery work, right? And it's having a mindset of being a lifelong learner. Are you willing to like give yourself permission to continue to learn things for the rest of your life? I always tell the youth when I'm working with like high school age kids, man, I know the resistance. I know what it feels like to have forced education, and really there's not a return on the investment. You get nothing out of getting a high school diploma. However, I know so many people that are my age now in their 40s that gave up on learning because it was forced and because they were so resistant to it. And yet life is going to teach you way harder lessons in general than any class ever did in high school or college, for that matter of fact. And finally, it's making a difference, right? What can you do to go out into your family, in your own life, in your community, into this world to make a positive difference? Is it sharing your voice? Is it giving of your talent and your time and your gifts? Right? There's so many different ways for you to make a difference. And by doing that, you're filling your cup, energetically speaking. This is an energetic process. And this is how I make sure that every single day my cup is full. And I'm continuing, as I just saw 333 pop up, and I'm continuing to improve myself one day at a time. That's all we got. You have right now. So choose what you want to do. I'm out here, it's been raining. I put on the gear in case some more rain came, right? Get outside in nature. It's one of the most healing places for you to find yourself. And that's a big difference. Broken man was too depressed to go outside. Was too in his head to go outside, too lazy. The healed man, oh man, it's hard. You have a hard time keeping me indoors, just like when I was a little boy. My mom could keep me inside. I was always want to be outside, playing. And that's what I still do now. That's the healed version. The healed version is actually giving yourself a lot more permission to be the inner child and go have fun. So why don't you go do that? I love you guys. Thank you so much for listening. If you're paying attention to this message and you can really grab a hold of what I'm saying, a long message today, but I know it's coming I know that it's going to show up for somebody. And if that happens to be you, just know, man, I'm so thankful to have you here. I love you. Share the message. Comment down below. Introduce yourself. It's not just about listening and receiving. It's about giving and creating a community of like-minded people. So definitely share the message. If you're someone that's interested in connecting with me one-on-one for a strategy session, email me at resultskillexcuses@gmail.com, and I would love to connect with you to try and look for some ways for you to grow and expand into the highest version of yourself for the greatest good. I love you guys. You know the drill. Results kill excuses, because if it was easy, it wouldn't be worth it. Greg's out.